experience, do you?
Did it start you before?
Huh, interesting.
Did you press continue?
No. I think I'd like...
Of course.
There we go. Problem solved. You know, the easy part here is we can just skip past all the dialogue that happens, so even if it does throw us back to the beginning of the area, which we now know,
Hey.
it's not like it's very hard to redo these things. I was just expecting...
Hold your ground.
Looks like you actually have to fight, though.
Hit me! Hit me!
Carl!
Wake up.
Smack me, big man. There we go. Problem solved.
Wait, you couldn't fight back?
I mean, you can, but it doesn't matter. Because Valencio saves us.
Yeah, I know, but still.
I know. It doesn't change anything. And I looked it up, and these are two different characters.
Okay.
Their masks are different. The guy from the previous one, the other Gavar or whatever his name is, they are completely different characters.
Well, it was
Probably.
Cyrus Gavar, and then this is
Cicero Gavar.
Cicero.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, now you know you need to get to those green,
Yep.
almost portal-like things.
Yeah, so I was looking at some of the reviews, and the reviews are mostly good, kind of like in the 75% plus. Ooh, this is neat. But apparently, this game is very linear for an RPG.
Is it alright if I close the blinds? The
Oh,
reflection
yeah.
off the wall is making it impossible for me
Yeah,
to see.
it is. The glare from like 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock in here is atrocious. Alright, now that we can see things, and that does actually solve the glare issue pretty well. Ooh.
Well, yeah, there's...
Yeah, I just, when we were in Croatia, there were a lot of buildings like this. Actually, are all of the rooftops mostly square? There were a lot of buildings like this with these, like,
There were definitely a lot of buildings with the peaked roofs.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about it, we're inside a cave, kind of. Would you call it a cave? Or whatever, where you've got the...
It's definitely a coastal cave.
Yeah, but it's got, like, that rock ceiling and stuff. There would be no point to having slanted roofs.
Condensation would come and drip down. You don't know.
Would you look at that? Huh. Elysian stones. I'd have expected the war to curb trade a little.
It did. For about 3 months, until the countries across the belt realized how much they missed our work.
And so they decide to send their traders to a country steeped in civil war.
It isn't that bad. The bloodiest sons have all set. We're just cleaning up what's left of it. In fact, I think in a few years it'll be completely over.
Let's keep going.
I'm glad they didn't stop us there, for dialogue. I hate games where, like, you're just running around for flavor dialogue.
And then it stops you for a cutscene every so often.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want it.
We don't care. You're at least a week away from another rotation.
I'm the best firebrand here, and you know it.
Get lost, Travis. You know there's no way you're going to get it.
Were they arguing over a masquerine? Aren't there enough to go around?
The war. Ever since your brother gave out all those masquerines to the mask runners, the death toll on both sides has been great.
And you've been losing masquerines.
So long as they sit upon a dying face, to the dust they go. And now, the city is running out of them. Everyone's feeling it. The guilds, the mask runners, the registry. The Vegelus even suspect that in the next 50 years or so, there'll be fewer than 100 masquerines left.
But there were thousands before. Surely 5 years.
5 years have crippled this country, Cicero. I am sorry. That did not come out as smoothly as I had intended.
You're tired. I understand.
You would, wouldn't you? Well, let's not keep a Vestus waiting.
And there's our answer.
Okay,
Brothers.
so it was his
Figured as
brother 5 years ago, and apparently a mask disappears when its wielder dies.
Makes sense.
But does that mean that Mascarines are a finite resource? Where did they find them?
I assume we find that out as we go along in the story. Like, there's going to be... We are going to find the origin of the Mascarines and some deep dark secret, like mind control or driving people mad or something.
What are they up to?
You don't recognize it. It's Gavar's caprice. I'm surprised it took you so long to spot it.
So they're learning his brother's fighting moves?
Well, no.
Or is it...
That's a
oh,
picture
it's
of
a picture
Gavar.
of him on it.
Yeah.
A caprice. It's
Yeah.
not something I've heard of often. I almost thought it was like a fighting technique as opposed to an image.
Yes. I'm just gonna keep grabbing all of those. Let's see, is there anything else? I like the fact that there are little side dialogue things and lore, though the execution's a little weird.
You'll have to read them all later.
Yeah. Ugh. Reading isn't too hard. Reading out loud, that's hard. Oh, okay, no cutscene. You'd think I could have actually just walked up the stairs and this could have been one big area. I wonder how much of that is for, like, resource? Like, you know, so it doesn't lag, and how much of it is for just sheer convenience of breaking it up into multiple areas? I don't know.
Unfortunately, when you keep moving, the speech bubbles are difficult to read.
Oh, yeah, the random dialogue from NPCs. For the most part, it seems kind of meaningless stuff. Like, you know, good evening, sir, and whatnot. So, I just wanted to comment, whenever I hear, like, orchestral singing or whatever, well, I guess not quite orchestral singing, but, you know, whenever you have a soundtrack like this, I'm just imagining a bunch of dudes slightly off camera just, like, shouting at people as they go by. Just, like... just this, like, little chorus over in the corner.
So, any idea why the old man wants to see me?
Not a very solid one. One of the Regenti has gone missing. And these walls should not be privy to this conversation.
Here's something I have to point out. The perspective on the ground is...
slightly lower?
It's screwy. So the problem is, if you rotated everything, I'm sure
It needs to be brought higher.
it would be symmetrical. I think, well...
Oh, so you mean the floor design?
Yeah. Yeah, the problem with isometric games like this
So it
is...
would actually be wider at the bottom.
Yeah,
and-
floor patterns like this actually end up looking really weird. Back when I still fancied myself trying to be a game designer to some degree, I was trying to do patterns like this, and it was a nightmare. Because currently, you get this, like, really strange looking...
also the top rectangles look larger than the bottom rectangles, and perspective-wise, they would be smaller.
Yeah,
and
it's
more skewed.
It's backwards and it's confusing, but in reality, it's actually a perfect square. It's just, it's your mind playing tricks on you because you think it's going to be a, you think the bottom is going to be wider, so it feels smaller than your expectations. I don't know, people always call me out for being like a whiner about these things, but it's just like, I have to point them out because nobody else notices this stuff.
I do notice it though. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's why even the fountain back there, among other things.
Yeah, it's like,
really
it's not
bizarre.
so bad if you're not paying...
Actually, it's not the fountain that's wrong. It's the circle around the fountain.
Yes. Yeah, the circle around the fountain is a perfect circle.
But skewed.
Yeah, so like, there is...
So the spaces between the patterns should be...
Yeah, it's odd. It's because
Yeah.
it's because the floors are just straight textures, I think. I don't entirely know if the, like, environment was 3D modeled at all, or if... like, I don't know how that's set together. This guy looks important.
That he does.
Let's play spot the relevant plot character for later. Then again, like, this guy looks kind of important too, so maybe they just actually
They
have
look like
some
they might
interesting
be from
NPCs.
different areas or regions.
Yep. Okay. The public's general reaction to Gavar's return seems to be confusion. Thought people would be angrier. 5 years is enough to calm betrayed hearts. Yeah, so probably Cicero...
He was exiled, that's what we knew.
Yeah, so Cicero staged his coup, and...
No, Cyrus.
Oh. Cyrus?
Yeah.
Right, Cyrus staged his coup, and his entire family got exiled for it. Let's see. Yeah, the flavor information would probably be a good thing to read, but RPG's expediency.
Here we are.
Tell me he's changed, at least a little.
Have fun finding out.
in all the 20 years that I have spent perched upon the spire, not once have I seen my city so broken.
Tristan was telling me the war's almost over.
Over? When does a war end? When the trumpets of peace sound? When the mask runners are dead in the gutter? No. It ends when it ceases to echo through every street, or shadow every face. It is over when the halls that it has emptied fill once again. This war is far from over. I trust the past 5 years have treated you well?
They've been kind.
Kind. Is that what you call those years you spent throwing all your coin at barkeeps, fleeing the grip of sobriety?
How?
The Cavalli Fields may be located across the belt, but it's still within the registry's vigil.
And so is plagued by your rats. Why am I here?
The answer is all around you. You've been to the docks. You've walked through the grounds. How many portieri enjoy the company of Mascherines?
Tristan told me. The city's losing too many of them.
We must learn the secrets of the Mascherines. Learn how to stop them from disintegrating upon their wearer's death.
This is a job better suited for the Vigilus.
Widen your mind, Cicero. You think I called you here to bury your nose in dusty tomes? You are not the first that I've spoken to of these matters. A regente of mine was tasked 3 months ago to explore the annals we have on Mascarines. You are here to find him.
How long's he been missing?
He missed sending in his last report due 20 days ago.
And you've sent no one else?
Ofina and Corvus were sent to investigate.
What did they find?
That their songs were shorter than they expected.
Both of them?
Ofina was found hanging in her room, hands tied, wrists slit. Corvus's body was not so fortunate. Whoever it was had resources, wit, knowledge, finesse. It's a pity the two before you managed to find nothing apart from their own deaths.
So you called me back to feed me to the dogs?
No, I called you back to find my regente. If the canines come at you while you're at it, well...
You're a fool if you think I'll do this.
I'll think much more than that if you turn away. Especially if you read the case notes. You might find the name of my regente interesting.
Razatov?
You two were acquainted, were you not?
Anything else?
Only that you are to breathe no word whatsoever to anyone else regarding this case. Everything else you need is in those notes. Arm yourself in the Hall of Bearings, then see what you can find. His office in the East Wing is probably a good place to start. That is all.
Yeah.
I really like the writing in this.
Yeah, no, the writing's actually super good from what I've seen so far. Like, it's this weird thing where, like, RPGs as of late have been kind of disappointing and tropey for me, but the indie RPGs that come through, every once in a while, there's, like, actually a pretty decent one. I just hope it kind of fits its the expectations I'm getting as a result of this. Okay. And off we go. Do we get a mask soon? I don't remember how well this game's Kickstarter did. I should look that up at some point. So many case notes.
Okay.
Like...
So, the missing persons investigation? Razatov of... Wait,
oh my
hey.
God. No way. We're not reading this.
But you'll have to. It might be relevant.
Oh no. It's all of this. Okay, missing persons investigation. Subject, Razatov Azris. I was about to say level 39. Ha! Regente. Okay, details. On the 39th of Revita, 407 IL, Regente Razatov Azris was tasked with elucidating the methods through which Mascarines were created. He was appointed by this task by Vorn Avestus Eliarme.
I think it would be Valrone.
Valrone, yeah. Okay, Avestus Eliarme. On the 43rd of Revita, he submitted his first update to the Valrone. Concerning his findings. In it, he writes that he believed that for something as core as the Dimenticate civilization as the Mascarines, There must be anthropological evidence regarding their existence and creation that he can find through detailed study of
Probably the Dimenticate.
Dimenticate
But,
history.
you know.
He continues on, writing that a visit to Conosenza must be paid. He is sure to find out what he needs there. A loose sheet found within the report reveals what specifically he was searching for. Books that talk about the Dimenticate, Gate, and power, about wielding immense power, creating power, using it to expand, or anything that remotely smacks of strength or supremacy. These are good places to start. We'll head to Conosenza tomorrow and speak to Kairi. Kairi said that Razatov never approached her for assistance. None of the Vegulists that I've spoken to have seen him around in the past month. He must have either done his work in secrecy or never followed up on his original plan. Tomorrow I intend on returning to Conosenza. Following his leads will bring me closer to his current whereabouts, I am certain. The investigation has been handed over to an Inspectore Corvus Gividus.
I suppose you could just say inspector, but...
Gividus? I mean, Inspectore I can say. That last name, though, Gividus.
Usually J's are pronounced as Y's.
Dividus.
I think it would be Dividus.
Yeah, Dividus. Dividus? Dividus? Gividus? I don't know. Anyway, Inspectore Ofina's corpse was found in a room approximately a desk on the 33rd of Pica. Investigation has taken a darker turn, ages forbid, and is growing steadily. Avestus has told me to focus on Razatov and to do so quietly. Whoever did that to Ofina is still out there. I do not know how well I will sleep at night knowing these halls are not safe, but the Varone has reminded me that if someone was out to stop us from finding Razatov, it must mean that he knows something. Avestus believes that finding the Regenti is of higher priority than identifying Ofina's murderer. If I can find both along the way, that'd be ideal, but ages. I'll be the first to admit that I might have been put in waters too deep for me. I've spoken to Lucina and warned her about the treachery.
Lucia.
Oh, yep, Lucia. If Ofina was the target of, then none of us are safe. Darius, Pasha, and Reeve aren't in the city at the moment. And for their sakes, I'm glad. Damn it, where's Cicero when you need him? No matter, I must focus. Tomorrow, I'll check Razatov's office. I think it's a prudent place to begin. At least, it isn't in my poor friend's bloody footprints. I hope she gets a good song. Nothing. His office clearly doubled as his living quarters. He'd holed himself up there for quite some time, or at least planned to. But there's nothing amiss. But then again, something didn't feel quite right when I was there. In fact, something hasn't felt quite right since I started this investigation. Silent songs. The others always mocked my superstitious ways. But how can I deny a feeling so strong? I cannot put my finger on it, but I swear that by the ages, that I'm being watched. If anything is to happen to me, and if this case somehow falls into someone else's hands, know that I advise caution. Lucia, if that the next person is you, songs, get out of here while you still can. Tomorrow, I plan on figuring out exactly what has been causing the hairs on my neck to rise. Once I deal with that, I believe I'll be able to better focus on the task at hand. Note the remains of Inspectore Corvus's body have been found in his personal residence in the dim way. The investigation is pending action. And a letter has been sent to Cavalli Field summoning former Inspectore Cicero Gavar back to Ombre. And there we go. Okay, and then we've got all of these things. So we've got lore, we've got characters, and then we've also got the journal, which...
Well, the journal, I think, is most relevant to the immediate plot.
Yeah, no, that is totally true. Okay, you're right, we gotta see this.
Survived the trial, I see.
Barely. The bastard's still as oily as ever.
Careful. Walls have ears. So, was I right?
This is about the Regenti that's gone missing. Razatov.
That's the one? Didn't he...
Save my life. Yes. Avestus used that against me.
So now you're on the case, too.
Any advice, then?
Just... try not to die. We've lost enough Inspectores as is.
You can bet on that. Now, I need to read these notes first. Then to the Hall of Bearings for a Mascarene. Still have time to accompany an old friend?
Why not?
Whee! I hope the leveling system in this game is
we have
deep. Yeah.
masks losing their magic. We have murder. We have a missing persons.
I have to say, this is probably one of the most unique settings I've ever seen in an RPG. Or game to some degree.
Oh.
Hey, other party member.
Brother is missing. At least let me speak to the Valencio.
Your color isn't welcome here.
Your color?
A member of the Blue Guild. Here.
A curious sight indeed. You can take care of yourself?
I'm not a child, Tristan.
Really?
Get out.
Okay. So, I think between this session and the next one, I'll do that note reading. We've picked up a lot of them. And then I can explain what things mean.
But could I do some note reading?
Well, I wasn't going to read them out.
You're a little fumbly. Oh, who's that lady?
I'm not sure if I'm going to read them out loud. I was just going to read them personally. So that I could explain them when they happen, kind of in, like, short notes. Maybe? I don't know.
I see.
I mean, if we wanted to do that, we could. It's just... It's easier for me to read that stuff quietly, because reading...
I think I would be better at,
Okay.
well, at least
Okay.
condensing a long thing into something like that.
Your summations are about as long as the actual material.
Okay, in the case of Prometheus, that was true, but whatever.
Inspectore,
At ease.
I was not told to expect you, sir.
I don't suppose you were. But here I am. And I need a Mascarene.
Right this way, sir. I do apologize in advance. Our selection of Mascarines has diminished since the war began.
It's all right. I'm not picky.
Beautiful, isn't it?
I'd like a Mascarene now, please.
All right. First things first. Your element, sir.
Cyrus? What are you doing?
Sir?
What? I apologize. What was the question?
Your element.
Right. Of course.
Ooh, so you're gonna choose fire, earth, water, or air. Let's look this over a little bit. We have the gifts to burn and smelt and set aflame pyres for his glory, and shape the soils to raise the earth to feed our strength and fashion temples, and seas will roar and clouds will cry, not for broken heart, but to pay obedience, and the winds will carry our tale through the lands to the hearts of foes, to spread his reign.
I want to see if there was a guide, but it doesn't look like there's much of one. I'm leaning air.
You like air?
He seems like an air kind of guy. Fire...
I think fire is a little aggressive.
Yeah, and earth is...
I've never been overly impressed with earth abilities. I personally am more of a water or air person.
I mean, I'm mainly just going with it because air seems like such a good rapier, like, element.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, water and air make a lot of sense for, you know, thin pointy sword that you poke people with a bunch.
Yeah, the thing I like about water is you can have steam, water, fog, rain, ice, but air, I mean, you can have like tornadoes and speed and
Let's
whatnot.
go air, partly because the brother had water, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, so you get to read more about it.
Yeah, so we have more. So, like the very wind that bends to their will, the position of an air brand in the midst of battle is unpredictable. Those who dance on gales and bend the breezes are constantly in motion, and are armed with abilities that cripple and displace those that attempt to obstruct their currents.
So that's more about movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
With versatile abilities suited for any scenario, the wind of water brands lies in their fluid adaptability and their
The
potential
strength
to shift...
of water brands.
Oh,
You
what
said
did I say?
wind.
Oh, sorry. Shift the tides of battle in a myriad of ways. One moment a water brand could be bolstering their allies, and the next summoning spikes of ice to impale their foes.
So that means buffs and
Yeah.
attacks. Okay.
The ubiquity of stone and soil lends itself favorably to the Earth Brand's abilities by allowing them to mold the landscape upon which many a conflict is set. Through the creation of hazardous areas on the battlefield, Earthbrands have unrivaled manipulation of the flow of any battle. And Firebrands of Ombre tread the fine line between blazing brightly and burning out. Their unmatched inclination towards destruction often leads them a target.
I don't know, I never liked
many
that.
foes' offense. But the best Firebrands have learned how to draw strength from the maelstrom of chaos around them. I'm actually leaning for Earth, almost.
I mean...
Hazard areas are some of my favorite things to do in terms of gameplay.
I mean, that would be sort of like what we saw earlier with the stone just coming up out of the ground.
Like,
and
I like...
At the same time, water could potentially do that too with the ice spikes and like
Well, we've already kind of
areas.
seen what ice spikes do, though. Like, I was shooting through.
So do you want to be more of an evasive person or a...
I think we also get more later, probably. I'm still tempted to go with air, just to, like, zip around and support. Well, not support, but, like... Let's go air.
No. Those who dance are constantly in motion. I never really liked the times that I played roguish characters because, yes, if you get out of someone's way, then you're all right, but if you don't, then you leave.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, can we go Earth then? Do you mind?
Do you want Earth?
Yeah, I don't want to do water. We've already seen water to some degree. I feel like Earth or air would be the most interesting. And the idea of hazard areas could be really fun.
I mean, at the same time, if your enemies get out of those areas, or
I can probably resummon them. We'll find out.
Or do you want to do air? Let me look at that again. Unpredictable. I mean, if you want to do air, I think that's fine.
You'd rather air than earth?
Just because I don't want to see rocks crumbling everywhere. I think air would be a bit more graceful.
Okay.
I'm an air brand.
And the last time you used a Mascarene?
5 years.
Vamus tests?
Distinctions.
Accreditor?
60th percentile. Explains why I didn't turn out to be one of the Vegulars.
All right, sir. It'll take me no more than a heartbeat.
We need the Mascarene, Cicero. You're its custodian, and you're an imposter. Going around with that stupid cape of yours? Have you forgotten where your loyalty...
Are you almost done, Valis?
Just finished, sir.
You don't know what you've started, brother. Change. That's what. Change for the Contadani, our people.
Here it is, sir.
Come with me. Come with me, Cicero. No.
Sir?
Thank you, Valis.
Do we get to see it? Oh, hey! Okay, so we have a mask. I
And
assume
4
we get
skill
more.
points.
Okay, so we get more. Eventually. So, Eye of the Storm. Cicero gathers power to increase mask, charge regeneration, and gain protection from interrupt, knockback, root silence, slow, and stun effects. So that's probably if I press Q. I could be wrong. Okay, so we've got party behavior and skills. Okay, so Maestro, Dervish, Tempest. Oh, so we've got different tracks here that we can go. So Maestro has passive skill.
That's probably, do you remember in Guild Wars how there was a overall, like, tree just for every class, and then you had 3 or 4 other trees that were for specific aspects of the class? That reminds me of that. Because I think that the Maestro is just for everyone, but the 3 categories below it are specific to the element that you chose.
Just looking at what we have. So we have conjures a whirlwind around the caster that deals damage periodically, slows enemies, and raises their threat. Dervish starts spinning and attack a lot of people. Lightning Blade, which just does...
Yeah,
the thing.
elemental tag.
Apparently, we're also a tank character because we have taunt and stuff, which forces characters to attack Cicero. Interestingly enough.
Nice.
Well,
I'm glad we went with there.
I think I'm going to put a point into Maestro, which gives extra health. Pretty much just bonus to everything.
Okay.
And what's this? Increased damage when there are no enemies nearby. Oh, I'm out of skill points.
Do you have any that cost?
Oh, I see, because we learned Lightning Blade. Of course that would, that would do it. Alright, but yeah, we'll just go with the passives for the time being. And we've got the Tesoro, and I assume now we go outside and go talk to the guy. Do we have the mask on our face?
Mask on.
Yeah. Hopefully there are more. Already did. Already did this. God. Yeah. Don't you just love those tutorials that's like, you already know how to do this, clearly, but just in case.
And there he is.
Who's this?
Calden Azarus, mariner of the Citte del Mare.
You're Calden.
You know him?
Yes, no, well, Razatov mentioned that he had a brother before, but he never said very much.
You knew my brother?
Is there a reason why he's here?
I know my brother's missing. Inspector Corvus came to me 2 weeks ago.
All right, well, I'm sorry.
It's not that, Inspector. I want to help find my brother in any way I can.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into. You haven't heard anything from Corvus because he's dead.
What?
Listen, Calden. Sail the winds back to your guild while you can. You don't want this.
Why?
Because this is not the business of the Blue Guild. And if any within the White Spire see you with me...
All right then. I suppose all I can ask is that when you find him, please, I'd like to know.
You're just going to let him go?
What?
It's his brother, Cicero.
Mariner! I'd like to at least ask you a few questions first.
Of course.
Oh, this'll rub the old man the wrong way.
All the more reason to do it. Now that both of you are settled, I have business to attend to.
Thank you, Valencio.
Have fun, you two.
Inspector, I must...
A few questions does not guarantee you a place in this investigation, Mariner. I'd like to make that clear.
Clear as the belt, sir.
Good. Now, we're headed for your brother's office. I'd like to ask you a few things on the way.
Half an hour has passed. We still haven't done anything. Or at least we haven't fought anything. Though that was... Oh.
When was the last time you saw your brother?
Well,
Memory failing you already?
half a Missouri ago.
2 years. My.
I can't leave. Oh, because we're going this way. Okay, got it.
We're going to the office, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a little exclamation point. Yep. Wait, look what they're saying. The War of the Ranks has cost the city much, but only the other Regente... Okay, so I've heard relations with them has remained untouched since the war began. If we are to exert control, however, we must remind them how much. They don't need us, not really, at least. Huh. Who are they talking about?
The Regente, which I believe are...
The regents, like... the upper class, right?
Maybe? Let me check the log.
Their class...
Culture...
was the,
Factions.
Oh, yeah. So that's the one where the brothers came from.
Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna read this. Citizens of Ombre are classified broadly into two categories, the Contadani and Masquerada. Those without Mascherines and those with.
So they don't have masks.
Yeah, the Masquerada themselves are divided further into the Registry and Samora, later of which comprises the 6 guilds of the city. There's a third faction not often spoken of until recent years, the Mask Runners, an encompassing term that refers to all owners of Mascarines who refuse to align themselves with any of the Samora Registry, and consist of dozens of smaller factions. Okay, Registry, Contadani... No, nothing on the regents yet. Yeah, part of the reason why I don't want to...
You wrote him a letter, then?
We don't write to each other.
No?
Okay, well, let's keep
so
going
is
here.
his brother just ultra secretive, or they don't really care much for each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is it. His office.
Finally.
Just a moment, Mariner.
Something the matter, Inspectore?
Yes, in fact. You.
Me?
You, Razatov's brother, whom I have heard so little from him about, who last saw him 2 years ago, and during those years you never spoke or wrote to him whatsoever, and now you're suddenly concerned.
Correct.
And you ask if there's something the matter.
Inspectore, the relationship I have with my brother is complicated, but he is still my brother. And if you doubt my concern for him...
I doubt your honesty. Are you certain you know as little about the cases you claim?
Yes. I assure you, on a mariner's moon, I promise, there is nothing I want more than to find my brother.
Let's go in then.
He was just saying, finally.
Here,
Like,
let's see what we can find.
in a vile way, if you know what I mean.
Well, he's one of our party members, so I assume he's a good guy.
Are you sure?
Probably.
Let's look at the bed.
My brother slept here?
He was the hardest working of all the Regenti. Couldn't quite draw the line between a personal life and a professional one.
He never did have any desire to start a family.
Despite my efforts.
You mean he was trying to get his friend to see various women or something?
I guess. Or they were trying to shack up.
Not together.
This is his work?
All the cases that he's had to work with before. He likes keeping them in the open. Watch his collection grow.
This case is large and relatively recent. It's about
You shouldn't...
Cicero Gavar.
And this investigation is not.
You never mentioned how you knew my brother.
Who are you here for?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Just keep looking.
I don't see anything out of the ordinary, Inspectore. Are you certain that there's something to be found here?
No, I'm not.
But yet you're searching through coal?
Do you think I'll find anything?
I don't think of a bed of coal when I'm looking for a place to hide things.
Exactly.
What's that?
If you could, Mariner? When you're ready.
Tides? What is that?
They certainly don't look like they're born of the earth.
My brother was keeping Fae. What are you doing?
Those creatures reacted to something.
You think they've got a thing for coals?
I think they've got a thing for this.
What is it?
Well, hopefully someone can tell us. Put the dresser back in place, please. We should... Wonderful.
Watch your flanks!
Okay, as Maestro, Cicero can switch between class stances at will. Stances grant various passive effects based on each class archetype. Press Z during combat to switch Cicero's stance. Sicaros move quicker and deal bonus damage when flanking. Pavasiers generate high threat and suffer less damage in combat. Pavasiers. Dirges have ranged auto attack and regenerate focus rapidly. Okay. Let's try range.
All the Italian. Whew.
Okay, that's dumb. Let's go back to this. Let's go over here. Let's do lightning blade from behind.
Now, what country of origin was this?
This game?
Yeah.
I want to say it's... Oh, this is awkward. Can't really turn the camera here, so it's hard to click on an enemy. But that's okay. Oh, and it's already dead.
I can see you can handle yourself in battle.
I am trained as a perpetuated. My physique didn't really cater for the other Medea.
I can imagine. Hold on.
Found something?
Perhaps it was a good thing those Fae attacked us. That mark that you see over there. The mark of Timerius Candor, a glassmith who works in one of the registry's wards. The Quiet Order.
Our next lead?
Let's go.
Pavicier. The voice acting is really good in this game. I actually really like the banter between the characters.
I'd like to see
It's well
what
done.
the Fae are.
I mean, they look like they're little origami thingamajigos.
Yeah, but what kind of organism is that?
I don't know.
Or just magic-infused machinations, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. So many log notes all the time.
Lucia.
I see you've already made some new friends.
Part of the investigation.
Ah, so the old man took my advice.
Your advice?
After what happened with Corvus and Ophina, nasty business that was. Anyway, he sought my opinion, and well, here you are.
So you're the one I have to blame. Why weren't you put on the case?
I'm too valuable.
Sure.
Where are you off to?
The Quiet Order.
Excellent. We can travel together then.
You too.
Come on. I'll tell you on the way.
So you told Avestus to call for me?
It was either that or do it myself. I think the choice was clear.
And the others?
Well, Ophina and Corvus are that, which leaves 5 of us. Darius and Pasha are off in Altamir spying on the Zealots, Riva's down in Rune investigating the murder of one of our diplomats, and you, well, you were farming.
So you don't know anything about the case?
I know the Regenti Razatov is gone, and I know that we lost 2 good inspectores trying to find him.
And you wanted me to be the third?
You were better than all of us, Cicero, you know it.
I don't know. Let's just go.
She sounds really familiar as a voice actress.
Yeah, I'm curious. I would love to see the IMDb for this. You know what? We'll look it up for next time. This is actually a really good stopping point. So we'll see you guys in the next episode of Masquerada, Song and Shadows.
Did you already get some kind of little savey spot so we don't have to go back?
Well, we
to
just
things?
changed areas, so I'm assuming so. Otherwise, I just mashed the enter button a bunch and close enough.
Mm-hmm.